here is we definitely need a theme song. Tommy John, being that you're the musician,
I should be responsible for that.
You should come up with or I mean, just a beat or something. It doesn't have to be a whole.
Are we gonna stick with like a justice theme, like we're enforcing?
Yeah, that's a good
takes?
idea. I was thinking I'd just make like a really gay intro.
Really gay.
It would have all of our names in it.
Okay.
It would have in the name of justice, and
or could we do like a Full House type of
we could do that.
theme, like everywhere you look, and it's like Patrick like taking out a casserole,
like an 80s, like an 80s sitcom. Wait, but what kind of gay things would you add in it? I'm curious. Like, what kind of gay elements would be in your theme song?
The silence is deafening.
Like, would you think? Like, what would you just say? Balls and dick and ass, or what would you say? That's a good song. Balls, dick, and ass.
Question, man. I didn't think about it.
I think the 80s sitcom thing is a good way to go too.
Or we should just have like, or at least we could just do it separately, but like, just like one, like the theme song ends and just like a quick skit of like an 80s sitcom type of feel, like Family Matters.
Yeah, I'm down. We should definitely do that.
It's like Patrick comes home and like we like knock something over and he's just like, kids. And then we get spanked by Patrick.
I just spiked the shit out of you guys. It just turns real BDSM-y, and the drums go like, and it's still the same beat, but it's like,
we're shackled, like hog-tied in the bed.
Joseph comes out how he was dressed on Halloween with a fucking dildo strap on him.
Before we think of any lyrics, or before I think of any lyrics,
You gotta get the mic close.
do you want it to be like, what's the vibe of our podcast? Do you want it to sound like very tribal and like jungle-esque?
Seeing as though this is going to be the second one that we're putting out, I don't think I have an opinion yet on like what our style
I say you
is.
follow your heart, man. I'm sure whatever you do, motherfucker, is gonna sound good as long as you just follow your heart and your dreams, bitch.
Thank you, Brother Bear.
Yeah, this is Mr. Bear, dude.
He could be our mascot.
Mr. Bear? Yeah, he's cool. His eyes are super close together, though. He looks like a little weirdo.
This is a weird episode already, but
Shut up, dude.
Dude, you're the worst for that.
thanks, man.
So, Will, talk about all your sexual exploits so your mom can hear. Yeah.
Everywhere you look.
Da-da-do-da-da. Will's afraid to talk about sex because his mom might think he's naughty. Oh, man.
Hey, these are family matters.
Ding-a-ding, ding-dong, do. Do you want to talk about what we're talking about before the podcast? Do you want to get into all that or not? Or you want to just go a different direction?
Might as well, man.
All right, man. So
This
Tommy,
episode is brought to you by loaded handguns and when to use them.
and better
therapy.
help. And
BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. Let's get that BetterHelp sponsorship.
Well,
We're all clients of BetterHelp.
we are as of this week.
You're not doing it anymore?
Well, I jumped ship. Now I'm just with the therapist that I met on there. Not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but
Oh, well,
Interesting.
it's all anonymous. Yeah,
So-
I actually didn't purchase it yet, so
Can I ask you a very legitimate question, Patrick?
yeah. Please do.
So I gave them my credentials of how fucked up I am, and they paired me up with this. You get to choose whether or not you want a female or a male.
You can.
Me, I mean, like, I feel like I open up better to females. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, this is already going in a solid direction. But I got paired up with like a 58-year-old woman. Now I
Oh.
want to know because, like, your therapist is borderline hot.
She's kind of a hottie.
Yeah, did that just like fall out of thin air? Like, was that like God testing you, or is that you selecting? Is that natural selection?
So I
let's
first
see
of
how
all-
much he really wants to work.
So wait, I have a question for you first. And
Deflection.
No, I'll
Okay.
come back to it. But I just
Sure.
while you were asking that question, I had this question just popped up, and I was like, "This is a good question for Tommy." So on a
Is
percentage,
yours ugly?
no, on a percentage scale, 0 to 100%, right? How, and be honest about this, percentage wise, what is the number, the percentage that you actually, like, when you were signing up and you picked female, that you thought that realistically you're gonna end up fucking this lady? And I want a number, dude. I want a real number.
It's below 50, but like above 35.
So I'd say like a average of 40%. That's a solid percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that went up dramatically when I selected female only.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So when you say, what was it when you selected female only?
Well, before that, when it was like I could pick a male too.
Yeah. No, but I mean like
How much did you want to fuck the guy that you selected?
Exactly.
So for me, like it wasn't 100%.
It does go through your mind. It's like,
That's the
hey,
thing.
what if my therapist was a smoke show?
Yeah. So that's the thing is mine wasn't 100%, but it wasn't 0%.
It's kind of like if you're on a plane next to like the person next to you, complete stranger, is like a hot girl, and you're kind of like, we could fuck on this flight.
Yeah. At any
Like,
second.
like, hey, like shit could go down.
I've heard that people your age on planes appear hotter because it's like, holy fuck, like I'm running across someone who's a potential mate who I could fuck right here.
What?
Right now.
What study is this in?
Yeah. What is this, dude?
Is
We're
this published in
Tomology.
Harvard?
Yeah, dude.
Stanford University.
You see someone the
I
same
think-
age as you on a flight, you're gonna fuck him.
You know
I
what?
think that they do appear more attractive.
I've had some, like
Just being the same age, you know?
just I mean I think that happens, but why on a plane? That happens all the time, doesn't it?
Because you have less oxygen to your brain. So you're just, you know what I mean? Like
you wake up
just like,
so early, you're just like, yeah, that figure looks good.
fuckable.
I think Tommy's making this study up as he goes.
I am.
Yeah. I've had thoughts in my head on planes and just in other random situations where things can crack off, like a terrorist situation where someone just hijacks a plane, and for some reason the guy's like, "All right, you have to suck this dude's dick." Like it just like for some reason they force us to bang,
That's a solid skit idea.
and for some reason that saves the plane.
We won't carry out our mission if you perform gay acts on this man.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be
imagine
gay.
a
I
skit
was
with
thinking
like
about it
gay
with a girl,
terrorists.
but
Oh, I thought you said it was a guy.
no, a girl. Like I've had a situation where like I've been at a bank and like a bank robber comes and like, everybody put your money up, and that girl touched that guy's dick. Like for some reason,
Because you have all authority.
That's weird. That's a lot.
I've had that thought. I've been like, that'd be crazy, but like kind of cool.
You're like next in line for the bank teller, like, sir, and you're just like spaced out.
Do you think a pilot has ever
Just
gotten?
coming in my pants. What?
Do you think a pilot has ever gotten airhead? Like instead, because there's no road, right?
Sky dome.
A sky dome.
Sky dome, dude.
That's a good. That's
Yeah.
Sky
Cloud
dome. I
dome.
like that.
Cloud dome.
Like it's probably like because there are some really good looking pilots out there, so I'm sure some of them have sucked each other off mid-flight.
Dude, for sure, somebody in the air has gotten their dick sucked.
Yeah.
My man, like you mean the guy? For sure, some people have fucked and gotten their dick sucked in private, like in planes.
Easy.
Mile High Club. That's what that is.
100%.
Yeah.
But the pilot,
pilot.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Scully, the dude who landed on the Hudson, he was distracted. He saw the geese, but he was like getting his dick sucked.
Yeah.
On takeoff. That's a pretty risky move.
And he actually,
Imagine.
Yeah.
he actually crashed into the seagulls or whatever, the geese.
The geese. What do you run into?
It was like geese that flew into the engine.
Damn, Randy ran into a geese.
Yeah.
Digging his fucking had his dick in somebody's mouth. That was the geese he ran into, dude.
two
Old
birds
geezer.
mate in flight, or do they?
Yeah, they're navigating the skies.
Bro, I love
No, I'm
your questions,
serious.
dude.
Because like you see some
What, like a
animals-
fuel hookup from like a fighter jet?
Yes.
Like docking like
Yes.
while flying to get refueled.
They have like an antenna that just like.
I don't know how birds mate. I think they lay.
We should
Well,
look
they
it
lay
up.
eggs for sure, right?
Yeah,
But I guess there is sex involved.
there's definitely a lot of sex,
Yeah, I don't think they have to like fly to do it.
and
Maybe to like do like a dance to like attract the other bird.
Or do they like just, you know how certain like fish come on eggs or whatever and inseminate? Is it like that?
No, they don't lay an egg and then jizz on it.
That's weird too.
There's
That's
a
weird
bird.
that happens. Sex in the animal kingdom doesn't seem fun at all. Doesn't seem like it's for their pleasure.
Ducks have like a corkscrew penis.
what?
Mm-hmm. It's like coiled
So
up.
is the female duck's pussy also a spiral
I
for it
don't
to
know.
interlock?
It's like one of those things that hypnotize you on YouTube, the little black and white swirls, the Cartoon Network swirls.
Well, like in kindergarten, you can't put a square block into a circle tube. So is it the same with the ducks?
It's a big enough circle. You
Like,
could.
does it have to also like? Is there the duck's pussy's also a spiral?
I would imagine yes. If I had to guess, I would say yeah.
We
So,
need some experts in here.
How about we go into therapy? How about we just
Yeah, that was a good
dive
intro
into that.
intro conversation to then segue into why we all need therapy.
Yeah, this is why we need BetterHelp to sponsor us.
This is
we're
why
having-
I didn't pay yet for it, so that they can email me another discount code.
Because we're having conversations like this and educating the people on corkscrew dicks and pussies. So are you excited to do therapy, dude?
I'm excited to like to be asked questions that I want to know the answers to that I'm not asking myself.
Before we begin, there's a lot of stuff on your sock on the bottom of it. I just thought you might want to.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
That's
sorry.
not cool. Everyone's gonna be roasting me.
So you're excited to get asked questions that you don't know the answers to, that you haven't been asking yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there such thing as like taking too much accountability for yourself?
Well, I mean, you could definitely be taking out accountability for things that you probably shouldn't be.
Like, there are relationships in my life where even though, like, it takes two parties for something to work out, but I'll take full responsibility for why that relationship might not work out in the end.
Yeah, I would say you probably shouldn't do that. I mean, unless you did something to end the relationship, like in a really the majority of it was your fault. But even then, it's two parties involved. Like you can't take all the responsibility. You take the responsibility for your actions, for sure. You should do that. You know,
I don't think I'm good at accepting that there's variables out of my control that I'll never be able to control. I think I am a control freak.
I think you're a freak, baby.
Thanks, dude.
That's for sure.
Appreciate you.
I feel the same way. One thing I'm afraid of like getting in trouble or like upsetting someone, and like now I'm like, fuck, that's like one thing I'm gonna like talk about when I like start doing the BetterHelp shit. 'Cause I don't know why I put so much pressure on like everything has to like work out, or like I can't like the relationships that I have with people, like I don't want to like have anything kind of like fuck it up at some point. So
You're afraid of getting in trouble?
yeah, like that like guilty feeling of like, ah shit, like I said something I shouldn't have, and like now like, you know, that person's like mad, or like I don't know, just like little things, but I don't know what it like stems from.
I feel like that's the most visible, like, you not shedding your childhood.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
definitely
mean?
part of it.
Because like you're an adult now,
Mm-hmm.
so to be putting those kinds of limitations on yourself because of what was once something that was accustomed to you, like punishment for saying something wrong, or you know what I mean, like that's clearly like a direct correlation to how your parents not disciplined, but like punished you for acting up.
Yeah, it sounds like a childhood thing. Because I have some of that too. I sometimes feel like that, and I definitely attribute it to childhood. Like it feels the same way when I felt when I was a kid and I'd get in trouble, like with my dad. Like it feels like I feel that same sensation, but in adult situations, like you're saying.
It's like a guilt, or like, yeah, it's like I just feel like guilty about stuff, or like that, like I gotta like, oh, fuck, like I really fucked up this time, and I just want it to go away, or just like, oh, I hope they're not that mad at me about something.
Yeah.
But even if I'm like justified in what it is that like was bothering me, like I just don't like when people like just don't agree with me on stuff, or they're like looking at me as like, oh, you kind of like, well, you did something too that like upset me. So like I don't know.
But
It's been bothering, but like it wasn't always like that. But like it's kind of like a newer thing. Like this year, I've been noticing, just like little stuff that like kind of gets on my nerves.
I was just gonna say I have some of that too, and I think, I mean, there's people pleasing that goes into it. There's the wanting the validation. You know, like I said, for me, it's like it's comedy, right? That's why kind of one of the reasons I do comedy is because you are seeking validation, like by even being on stage, making these people laugh at your ideas, liking you for you. For me, it's like I'm trying to scratch this itch from when I was a kid, when I didn't feel listened to, or I felt neglected, or I felt like, you know, so that's
and we should like note that an event like that is 100% PTSD. Like
Yeah.
we're all dealing with PTSD,
Mhm.
and I think there are a lot of suppressed events that we have now overlooked that we've like still occupy like space in our memory somewhere, and I think that we have like trained ourselves to not go there because it's it's like it'll conjure up something that we don't want to face. But that's exactly why I'm doing therapy, is because I feel like there is like an event that I need to relook at for why I might not have the kind of belief in myself that I would want to have, because my self-esteem is at this point in my life suffers to a degree where it's like it's total self-sabotage. So if I can get to the root of why the fuck I'm self-sabotaging myself for no good reason, like maybe I can advance like.
Yeah, but everyone has some element of that. That's why everyone should do therapy, do something like that, or journal, or some form of self-reflection, because we all have that, you know. So I was gonna ask you, I mean, you've done shrooms, like you've never had any kind of revelations when you're on shrooms about stuff exactly what you're talking about, or you just had a good time?
No, I've never like shrooms have never provoked like a past trauma. If anything, kind of like in a weird way, like it creates such a beautiful environment for yourself that you'll become aware of like, wow, like why am I not aligned with this beautiful environment? And like I've seen, that's not personally me, but like I've had a friend who I tripped with, like, be exposed for his self-worth because we were walking around on a perfect summer day around a lake in like the Catskills in New York, and like he was just like so puzzled by how beautiful everything was that he was like, I don't possibly fit in here. You know what I mean? Like, so, which ties back to some sort of childhood belief for him, you know what I mean? But it's not like as set in stone as like, oh, I just got a fucking Jimmy Neutron brain blast, and like now I remember like that time that my mom fucking like did, you know what I mean? Like it's not like,
So that guy did shrooms and found out that he isn't worth shit.
Also, I mean, it reveals to you an answer that you might not be ready to accept.
Have you ever done it with the intention of uncovering something, or have you always done it with the intention of like just having a good time?
Having a good time.
I
So
wonder
yeah.
I wonder if you go in with the intention of discovering something, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked into many of those kinds of stories, but with ayahuasca, like that seems to be like a direct correlation to overcoming trauma. I don't know if mushrooms are as therapeutic as ayahuasca has been led me to believe. Like from what I've seen from like now athletes like Aaron Rodgers and like a lot of podcast hosts that have just like grown bases throughout the years, like they've dabbled in like the most ancient medicine there is, and it literally connects you to Mother Nature, and Mother Nature like harnesses you, and it's like, listen, child, like you are so small that it's stupid for you to be worrying about what you're worrying about.
Yeah.
I could never do that stuff though. Like, I mean, at least I say that now, but like that scares me, like to do shrooms. Like I don't want to be stuck, or I don't want to feel stuck in like, okay, what if I tried shrooms and it was like a fucking bad trip?
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, especially ayahuasca, like I have to go to another country and like,
You could do it here.
Not anymore.
I know people. I know
someone
people
I know that's
You
like just
should
did
go
it
to another country.
Someone did it in Peru that I know recently, and like he was just like, yeah, dude, it was sick, but I was like throwing up like the whole time, like shitting myself, and I was like, that sounds awful to me.
It's the purge, baby.
I just
Yeah.
I can't do that. Like I don't know. But like
I
I don't have like the strong enough mind to like because everyone's like, I was like, oh yeah, if you think you're gonna have a bad trip, then you're gonna have a bad trip. I'm like, well, I'm gonna like, I psych myself out all the time.
Well, maybe you're just not ready though, because I felt like that for a really long time. Like the thing for me is like shrooms and psychedelics have always been interesting to me. Like I've always felt like I wanted to do them, but I always felt like that. I was always like, damn, like what if I don't want to lose control like that. Another worry was like, what if I have the gene to be schizophrenic and it triggers something and I end up crazy? I don't come back. Those are all fears that I had, but the more recently, I'm starting to open, like, and I've microdosed. I've like dabbled a little bit, like dipped my toes in the water. And honestly, if you do end up doing it, you should start like how I did, just little by little. But if the microdose, I'm telling you, will feel so good. It literally makes you feel like a little kid again when you had no worries and you're just at the park playing with your buddies.
100%.
That's what it feels like.
That's a universal feeling right there. Like the feeling of childhood being like all like you're filled up with that like curiosity and like anything is possible kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I think whatever your narrative is of what the substance is how it plays out, because I'm not actually tying this together till right now. I remember thinking I was smart not to smoke weed. And then when I finally smoked weed for the first time, till this day, bro, like I've had kind of like a really like not great relationship with that substance.
Mm.
But from the beginning, I've always been really curious and open-minded about mushrooms. And that's been a drug that like, I mean, I don't do it nearly as much as like weed, but like it's actually something that I've never had a negative experience with. Even my bad trip with mushrooms ended up being a great trip in retrospect, because I was like, oh my God, like I have a lack of like brotherhood in my life. Like this is something that I need to harness a little more. Like I learned something like really sensitive that in the moment I was like, dude, this fucking sucks. I don't want to ever experience this. And then in retrospect, you're like, oh my God, like this is a great learning experience.
What if Tommy was on the path to being a college professor before the first time he smoked weed? Then he smoked weed and turned into this fucking guy.
Oh no, dude. That's a huge fear of mine.
What if you were like, you used to dress up in suits and like you would talk, you had this really expansive vocabulary. You walked around with a briefcase everywhere and you hit one joint and now you're in your fucking socks and your red sweats. looking like you're in your jammies. Waiting for Christmas kind of morning today, where like you like walk out like, where are the presents? That's how you're dressed up right now, dude. Where are the presents?
I got my hot tea. I'm chilling.
This is a Thanksgiving morning outfit you got going on.
Yeah,
before the company arrives and you're just
yeah. You're so on the money with that.
Before everyone shows up and you're like, let me just not do anything right now.
The company, baby. The company.
Your mom's begging for help in the kitchen and you're just like, nah, I'm gonna watch the fucking football game.
Yeah.
Watch the
Macy's
game.
Day parade.
Hey, you know what's good on Thanksgiving and
pussy.
Christmas? Pussy. Pussy's great at all times, let's be honest, dude. At any point. 4th of July, New Year's, all times. No, it's called mold. Have you guys ever had mulled wine?
How do you spell that?
Fire, baby. I think it's spelled MUELLED. So, okay, look. Here's what you do.
Red blue cheese.
What you do is you get a couple bottles of red wine, okay? It doesn't have to be fancy because you're going to be cooking it.
Okay. Oh, you make it?
You put it in a pot, right? You fucking dump the wine in, and you I think it's called macerate, or no, not macerate. I forgot what it's called. But you essentially you cook. It's called masturbation, and you start beating your dick, and you come into the wine, and then you drink it. It's great. You turn the heat up to like kind of. You don't want it to boil. You like kind of simmer it a little bit, but a little less than a simmer. Just heat. You don't want to cook the alcohol out. You guys keep drinking. It's okay. I like it. You throw in some orange slices, some cloves, cinnamon, anise, allspice. You throw my niece. Throw in your fucking niece in the pot, dude.
Get in here, Samantha.
She tastes good. She'll melt. You'll never see her again. It's fine. It tastes good.
It is a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice to the wine gods. Yeah, you sacrifice it to the wine gods. It tastes bomb. Cook that shit for like 30 minutes. It gets all those flavors. You strain the wine out. Get a little scotch, right? You could also do it with rum. In New Orleans, I had it with rum. Phenomenal. You get a little, I like it with scotch. Scotch, you make a vanilla syrup or honey syrup on the side. Boom, combine those, drink that shit. fire. Like just Thanksgiving, Christmas in a cup, phenomenal.
Is it
Best-
hot?
It's hot.
What happens if you make this on a day other than Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Jail time.
You unleash all the
You
demons of hell.
will be in prison.
All the demons, the barrier between hell and earth opens, and all the goblins come out. And first they eat your butthole. They eat your butthole first, and then they eat everyone you love's butthole afterwards, and then they just take over the world.
Just whoever answers the door, if it's not you, they just come in like, give us the boy. And then they
Give
find
us the boy.
you. And then they
We
find you.
thirst for his asshole.
That's what they say. And there's a fucking witch in the back like this. Bring us the boy. Bring us the fucking boy. So yeah, don't do that.
Noted.
But anyway, sorry. That's a
Is this
tangent.
in like a potions book that you read somewhere? The recipe for this?
yeah, potions
Yeah.
book, a Harry Potter.
You need a
potion
big
book.
cauldron to do it.
You need a
and
big
a stick.
old dike.
Is that a word for something? You just talked about you need a lesbian.
Isn't there a tool called a dike? Like like you know how there's a hoe for gardening and farming. I think there's one called a dike. Let's find out.
I hope you're right.
I'm gonna Google this. All right, dike tool. Yeah. Look. It's like it looks like pliers.
Yeah, you need some pliers to cook some wine.
I don't know why this popped up. Dikes. Yeah, look. 4.5 side cutter dikes.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, but why are any words? You know, that's always fascinated me. Is like the fact that even the fact that we, if you think about the fact that we were cavemen, dude, like we literally were like, right, like that in caves, like hunting like primal with the T-Rexes and shit, and then we got to a point where dudes uttered sounds, right? So like, say we all lived in different caves. So we lived like 10 miles from each other. We probably didn't run into each other, maybe on one or two different occasions. But I had a different word for tree. Like my word for tree could have been like luga, and yours could have been like raga. And then we like come, and then I go luga, and you go raga, and then we literally never interact again. So how the fuck do you interact with someone on a consistent enough basis to come up with a word to say about something that everyone agrees on? Because some people have to have different words for chair. Like people have to have different words for mountain.
I think it was just like the tribes got bigger and bigger and bigger. And like, well, we all got to communicate some fucking how. I don't think there was a lot of cavemen that was like, all right, party of three of us, and like we're gonna just last until the very end. It's like you got to just stick with the fucking strong people.
But even
Gonna take
okay,
over.
so you're right. So the tribes, right? They build up, but then tribes get killed all the time because there's disease. No one has heaters. There's no air conditioners during the summer. There's predators. There's other people that are going to kill you. So maybe those people had a more elite word for tree, but their shit's gone now. And then you know what I mean? Like maybe their word was catching on with like the masses, but then they all got wiped out, and then they had to start over again.
I think maybe it was that process over and over and over again until one kept getting through and like fucking figuring everything out.
But then what makes it even crazier is that there's not just one language.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So,
dude.
so
But there's like
imagine if there was a
Latin, which is
universal-
like every language is like, isn't every language like derived from that?
I don't think so,
No,
because there was languages before, like Sumerian, I think was the first, or there's like there. I don't know if it was. It might have been. I don't know, but
or at least in like certain like Anglo-Saxon, like
Latin is a super old one. But there's like Hebrew is super old,
yeah,
right? And Arabic has to be mad old. Mesopotamia was the first place of like there's these old ass fucking, you know. Like, isn't that crazy? You guys aren't tripping?
No, it is. It fucking
But
is.
I don't like talking about stuff like this because what if like the answer is like, I mean I'm like always insecure about like stuff I'm not educated on. So it's like if I just go on this like oh yeah that's probably this, and
Dude,
it's like,
shut up. We
what if
gotta
the
take
answer-
wild chances.
What if the answer is like so obvious? And it's like wow that guy is fucking stupid.
Who cares? We gotta take
I do.
chances.
I care if I'm stupid. No, I am stupid. What the fuck? I don't know, man. I'm bad enough at English already. I'm bad enough at it as is. But it's funny. You use tree as your like example, and like when I was a little kid, I asked my mom too. I was like, "How did we learn? Like, how did English? Like, how did words start?" She's like, "I don't know. Probably some caveman looked at a tree and just went, ugh, tree." Like,
Yeah,
That
but
was your exact example.
But the caveman had to tell everyone a tree and not die before he told everyone else, and
That's-
everyone else
yeah.
had to look at him and be like, "That's a good word."
Yeah.
You know, there was guys that were like, "Fuck tree." That's the
yeah.
lamest shit I ever
And that's
heard.
why that's
want
how the
Luga.
language split. It was like, I don't agree with that.
I want Luga. But then that
Yeah.
guy's got to survive long enough to tell France that Luga is tree in French,
Right.
Well,
and then somebody else has to do it for Spanish.
were cavemen even like able to make, like, were they smart enough to like make words, or were they like more primal of like innate, like, because gorillas can't talk, they can't say words.
Well, once they got to Homo sapiens, right? I mean, Neanderthals, Homo sapiens, I think they were smart enough for language. I think
Thanks to
we're Homo
thanks
sapiens.
to mushrooms.
Thanks to the mush.
Thanks to a stone ape theory.
Maybe, possibly. And cooking food was huge too.
Yeah.
Cooking food like doubled our like we got way more nutrients from food. But yeah, I mean Homo sapiens, I think I mean it wasn't like Homo sapiens and then agriculture. Agriculture happened eventually, but I think they were cavemen and we're Homo sapiens. We're obviously more evolved versions of it. Take a chance, dude. I want to hear your guess because you're worried about guessing and you're worried about taking a chance because you might seem stupid. So I want to hear your theories.
I think there was one almighty caveman that they all worshipped, and it was his way or the highway, and they just like passed down that tradition.
You think on the whole world?
Yeah, he gathered all the fucking tribes of cavemen. Well, I don't know, because everything started in Africa, and then Pangea, split them all apart.
Pangea?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's funny.
The
Pangea,
original
I
continent.
was very scared. I was like, did I fucking say that wrong?
but I think Pangea happened like I don't think it happened.
That
way
was
before
millions
humans.
and millions of years
I think it
ago.
happened before humans. I'm not sure.
way before humans.
But I think it did happen before humans.
No, but like there's like like humans started in Africa, and like I think they just kind
Prove
of
it.
fucking walked everywhere.
Prove it, dude.
Let me go read my oracle bone and see what the.
How mad do you think like racist dudes, like KKK dudes, are mad about the fact that we started? I ain't fucking starting in Africa, dude.
Started right here in Texas.
There's people mad about that for sure.
Yeah,
for sure, man.
Lucy, baby.
no, but
That's our grandmother.
There were, like during the Ice Age, like they were. I mean, I don't know which one came first, honestly, but like when shit was frozen over, like they were able to travel across
Yeah.
all this frozen water and just end up all over the place. So unless they all started at one place before the whole Pangea shift and all that shit, I think maybe they all just like stuck with like the strongest people to like, all right, we'll survive, or these fucking dragons are eating us right now. And then they just kind of learned a language as like more people were born, or like, I feel like that was it. And then everyone split off, and it's like, oh, now we ended up in this fucking place. And like,
Dude, this is really relevant. I was watching that Joe Rogan podcast today, Graham Hancock.
Oh, he was on it.
Dude,
I love Graham Hancock.
I used to watch those like 5 years ago when
They're
he was
great.
on. Oh
Yeah.
my god, he's such a not. So the theory now is that 11,600 years ago, there was like a whole ancient civilization that had developed these like really, I mean, it could have been like really advanced technology just like today, and it got fucking completely wiped out by some sort of comet, and then the ice age happened, and like it restarted from scratch.
yeah.
If this planet, I think this planet is
4.5 billion years
4.5 billion years old, right?
Yeah.
So if that is the case, 11,600 years is literally nothing.
You know what
dude.
pisses me off though? When I watch like National
Nothing.
Geographic, and like there's scientists that say like, oh, this ice was formed like blah blah blah, whatever, something BC, or like,
Yeah.
I'm like, how the fuck do
They
you
don't
know
know.
that?
They don't
how
know.
do you like figure that out? Or like, oh, this structure was built, or like we can tell that this primate died like, 400,000 years. Like,
I know they could do carbon dating. Like there's ways they can, like if they have carbon material, like something like a fossil or something like that.
my little pea brain mind can't.
Yeah.
There's a
Processes.
method to
Just
do it. I don't know exactly how they
test
do
the
it.
soil.
They test carbon material too,
Yeah.
and they can figure things out like that. Which honestly, I don't know. I couldn't tell you how they do that, but
you
they
just have
can.
to be like that good at math, where like the math formula is like so proven of like this is like it will always happen like this, and you just kind of like factor in the thing you're trying to figure out.
You-
It's like this math equation, like scientifically, it has to mean this.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is what's cool about math, and this is what makes me feel like this supports simulation theory, like the fact that we're all in a computer game, is that so many things can be answered by math. Like math seems to be the universal language of figuring out the probability, like everything. And that's, if I was living in a computer and I had to like figure some shit, like hack into the, like if you could like open up the sky and like fuck with the wiring and like communicate with it, it would be through math. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
isn't that
God,
bananas?
God is mathematical.
That dude's super mathematical,
God's a
bro.
nerd. Fuck, dude.
He's mathematical as shit.
Every
God's a
single
fucking dweeb.
thing, every single shape in existence has measurements to it.
Everything, math can answer like all those questions.
I got a shape you can measure.
Some guy was telling me that there was an equation for, because it was at the restaurant in the Fermi paradox, and he was discussing this guy who came up with this equation. I'm gonna butcher it, but it was fascinating when he was telling me. But essentially, like how, man, what was it? Like it was about the probability. The Fermi paradox is obviously the idea that is the mathematical equation that there's such a huge chance of there being life on other planets that it's crazy that we haven't met them already, right? And then he was telling me about equations that were calculating like I don't know if the hostile ones, like it was breaking it down even more. I fucking forgot, dude, but it was fucking so dope. And it was the takeaway was like, damn, I can't believe math can just, you can predict or figure anything out with math.
It is like, I don't know. Every time I see like a video about like traveling at the speed of light, like if that was achieved and like how relative time like slows down for them or like or whatever it is, but like
no, well,
how big, like they say that like space just doesn't fucking end. It's like expanding forever and all this shit, and like all these trillions and trillions and trillions of fucking a number that doesn't exist, Google whatever, of galaxies. I'm like, absolutely there's something else out there just like us. And like it's crazy that like throughout whatever time, like unless we're just in like this our relative time of like it's not on our timeline yet, like something will reach us. Like we're not like where we live right now, like obviously to us it's just like, yeah, we can't fucking build something that goes speed of light, but like something out there has fucking figured it out. There's no
or maybe
way.
we have. I mean, the thing is if our government has done that, they probably wouldn't just tell us right away. You know, they might have.
Do you guys think aliens are out there where they visit us?
I think they've been here for sure.
Dude, I want to know what goes on in Area 51. I mean, I don't want that knowledge because then they'll probably get killed. But I really want to know, like, why the fuck are they so hush hush about that?
What if
shit?
it's just a bunch of butt sex?
Yeah, oh yeah, actually that could be. Or what if it's like a huge like human trafficking hub that they're just like,
That'd be wild.
yeah.
Like Epstein 2.0.
I think I saw aliens one time.
Tell
All
us.
right, I want to hear this story.
San Diego, 2020.
2020,
No, that was COVID.
2021. Yeah, you're right.
the tail end of COVID.
On the beach, watch the sun go down, and I look up, and I see
Just getting probed.
I see like
Banged.
what? Ooh, I see a ship, and I'm like, okay, it's a blackbird because.
The way you're telling this, it sounds like you're trying to think of it on the spot.
Okay, let me say it more seriously. Then.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I was on the beach.
Nice. Oh fuck, I feel like I'm there.
I saw a blackbird in the sky, and I was like, very cool. Like it was so low, like I could see the shape of it, and I just assumed it was military because there's a really big military presence in San Diego. And then perfectly spaced behind it was another blackbird, followed by, perfect space behind it, another blackbird. Like they were perfectly spaced. Perfectly spaced. And I stopped counting after like 28 or something like that. So I saw probably over 30 of these ships. And I asked my military, my military friend from the gym. He was in the Air Force, and he was like, dude, there's usually the formation is always like a flying V, just like birds, and that there was no reason, unless there was a program that was like recently updated, that they would be going in a straight line like that, right along the coast. And I don't know, I just found it very eerie because it was like so low, you could just make out the shape of these things, and they had a single orb of light like attached to them.
So you think that all of them in a row was a UFO?
I
Like
didn't.
aliens in disguise, like they cloned our ships.
It just didn't make sense to me how something so low could make no sound.
They probably got shit like that.
I hope so.
For sure they do.
I would hope that it's military because that shit was kind of wild. I was just thrown. I thought maybe it was aliens when my friend told me that.
Yeah, but I
My
mean,
military friend.
there's probably a way, I mean, just I'm sure there's reasons that we
explanation
don't
for it.
understand why they would fly in a straight line, you know?
Yeah. I'm waiting to get abducted. Then I'll get back to you guys on a real alien story.
Remember
I
in
don't know if that
ET?
qualifies.
Remember in ET when the government was like gonna go collect him, but like they were dressed as astronauts to pick him up.
I don't remember ET. I remember
Dude,
just
literally in
M&Ms.
ET when they're going to collect ET and they're like breaking into the house and shit. Like they were dressed as astronauts.
Really?
Yeah, in spacesuits,
Like white,
like
the
landing,
white
like
astronaut?
landing on the moon, like big dome
Oh,
shield.
really?
Yeah,
Unnecessary. Huh?
it's so funny. Like that's what they were dressed as. But it's probably like, I mean, Spielberg was like, oh yeah, astronauts are sick. We should definitely. I'm gonna look this up for you guys.
All I remember from ET was the M&Ms, the orange and yellow M&Ms that he eats or he gives to somebody.
Yeah.
I remember just always like
Pieces,
thinking like, damn, those
pieces.
look so crunchy. Those look like good crunchy M&Ms.
Yeah, it's like legit an astronaut.
Maybe, yeah. And the other guy has no suit on.
Well, that was the mom like carrying her son out of there.
ET goes home, right? Doesn't he eventually go home?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't remember that movie at all. I just remember they fly on a bike.
I remember I liked the movie, but I was definitely scared of ET when I was a kid. And there
Yeah.
was a Kraft mac and cheese like promotion for some reason that they were selling like an ET toy in the mac and cheese box.
Yeah.
It was really weird, but my dad bought mac and cheese for me and my sister, and we had that toy, and I was terrified of it. I threw it in the basement. And I was just like, I'm not going down there. But every time I had to go down there, I was like, fuck, I threw that thing down there somewhere, and I got to like walk past it.
You're just scared of it?
I was terrified of it.
ET. ET looked like a Tootsie Roll that somebody smashed down.
It was very funny though when he got drunk in the movie. I like.
You got drunk?
Yeah,
I don't
everything
remember.
that he did would happen to Elliot, and everything Elliot did would happen to ET. They were like in sync with each
Oh,
other.
really?
Yeah, so like ET was home one day, like bored as fuck while Elliot's at school, and ET just opens up the fridge and just starts pounding beers, and then Elliot's at school just wasted.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't remember that at all.
You
I don't
should
remember
rewatch
that
it.
movie.
Remember that?
yeah.
Sounds made up.
Think
You
it's
should,
hammered?
you should rewatch it, but not with Maya. I swear to God, that's what it is. Like he's literally home alone watching TV. He's bored as fuck. Everything that like, that was the problem. Was like they were too close to each other. They were too connected. So they were like they had to get Elliot away from ET.
What if Elliot jerked off and just
E.T. just-
just busting in his pants?
Well, when ET would extend his neck, that was Elliot getting a boner.
Oh.
Yeah, so
You're like,
no, but he literally like got fucking drunk. Ew, and the grossest scene was like when ET like ran away for some reason, or I don't know what happened, but they like find him next to this like creek, and he's pale, and he just looks like a soggy shit.
E.T.?
Yeah,
I think you're making scenes up, man.
I'm not making anything up.
I think you're just. I think you're taking
This
some,
is all like
some creative. Some creative. What's it called? You're going off the rails here, dude. I think you're making up your own movie.
guys. Like, I'll put this movie on right after. We'll go scene by scene. I'm speaking facts right now.
I don't know, man.
ET drinks beers. Yeah, Elliot releases the frogs that they don't want to dissect in class. He cuts himself. ET does the ouch and like touches the finger.
Ouch. And touches
Ouch.
his buzzy.
Yeah.
Ouch. Puts it in his butt. Cures all the cancer in his body.
If all I'm saying is, if I'm a screenwriter for ET and everything that happens to that boy happens to the alien, I would have made it a little dirtier.
Well, you
That's
you
all
know
I'm
that
saying.
you know that they thought about it, and you know that they talked about it and
Yeah.
laughed about it.
Yeah.
There's no way we're putting this movie, but like, what if Elliot gets rimmed up,
Yeah.
and then we show fucking ET like, oh, you know,
Elliot gets fucked by his teacher.
or
ET's just on the couch. Just
or just ET like fucking for some reason fingers Elliot's mom, and then fucking this Elliot's at school writing with a pencil, and then he's like, he's like,
This smells like asshole. And ET's just, oh, I'm like,
like
wow.
salmon.
What smells like fucking booty?
He's like, tilapia? We didn't have tilapia last night. That's the movie I want to see.
How do you feel about aliens potentially having senses that we don't have?
What would their senses be?
That's the thing is we don't know, dude. They could
Well,
probably
they could definitely talk telepathically.
they could probably talk in colors. They could probably eat colors. That'd be
Holy
cool.
Shit, dude.
I don't want to
I
eat
feel like
colors.
purple.
Huh?
I want some purple.
Purple sounds like it tastes good.
Purple does.
They
taste
could
good.
probably. Well, yeah. I mean, the easy ones are to communicate, no words.
Yeah.
Telekinesis. You can move shit with your mind.
Yeah.
But let's think outside the box here.
Okay.
All right. I'm saying eating colors. I'm saying seeing sounds.
I keep hearing that these aliens don't have dicks. They don't have like reproductive organs. So we gotta think about how potentially they may.
I really want to know where
That's a
your
massive-
information comes from when you talk about stuff.
Only,
Who's telling you that aliens don't got dicks?
dude, you gotta stop questioning. and
I
just-
think. It is. Whenever you see like the
Right.
depiction of aliens, they don't have dongs. Like ET didn't have a schlong.
Maybe
around
they're
them.
internal and then like they can just like
Yeah.
Not
Maybe
on
they're
the surface.
hermaphrodites and they just bang themselves.
Remember? Did you guys watch Captain Marvel?
No.
It was a terrible movie, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But the aliens were able to like.
I'm glad you
shapeshift.
mentioned it.
They were able to shapeshift and look like humans, but for some reason, when they were in their alien state, they were Australian. Like they just had Australian accents.
Interesting.
When they were aliens, they were Australian.
When like
That's hilarious.
their tribe on whatever planet they were on, like they would disguise themselves as humans, and then when they were like back to like the green looking fucking things, they're just like, right, well, we're gonna band together. Everyone's gotta help defeat the bad guys.
I think
Sarah's
I think
gonna crash the party.
an aliens.
Sarah.
Is she here right now?
Yeah, I think it's her.
She bringing pizza?
Sarah.
Let's run the podcast, Sarah.
Sarah. Come in. You're gonna join us. No, come
Sarah,
in. You're gonna join.
You're on the podcast. Welcome.
No, shut up. You come
Nah,
here right
it's
now.
too late.
Come here.
We just want your opinion on
we're talking,
aliens.
We're talking about
Yeah,
aliens.
yeah.
Just sit down, dude. All right, scoot over. I'll share a mic with Sarah. Come here.
Come here.
Shut up.
Get in here. Get
Hey,
in
look
here.
what Mr. Bear has glasses on.
It's only for a couple minutes. Hi.
Come
How
on.
you doing?
This is Sarah, everybody.
Yo, the official announcement made this way too serious.
All right. Sorry. What were you saying about aliens?
Okay.
We're trying to figure out what aliens.
How do you think, Sarah? How do you think aliens reproduce?
Vaginally?
So, do you think they all have
Show
vaginas?
us vaginally.
They just scissor the fuck out of each other?
Kind of holes, or mentally.
Mm.
Ooh.
Can't they?
Is there mental rape in the universe?
Oh, I don't know.
How would mental sex work? Tell them your favorite scene from that stupid movie.
What movie?
That one with the flowers.
Oh, it's so good. Have you guys ever seen, what's it called again? 40 Days and 40 Nights, where she
No.
gives the guy,
No.
the girl, an orgasm with just a flower.
Whoa.
I said, Patrick, I said, I remember being like younger, being like, that was probably my first orgasm ever watching that scene. And then I looked at what year that came out, and I was like 13. And I was
Wait,
like,
you
oh my God.
you watched a scene and had an orgasm just by
No,
getting
it's
turned on by
such
it?
a hot scene. You have to watch it.
When I was a kid, around the same time, I saw this movie, and I don't know why I saw it. It's a terrible movie, but there's a part where he can't have
Let's
sex.
get
He can't have sex for 40 days. So he's like trying to abstain.
So he's so horny.
So he's hooking up with this girl, but like we can't have sex, right? So it's like this scene where like he like has a petal of a flower, and he's like rubbing it on her body, and she's like,
All over slowly and like.
and she's like,
You guys-
oh,
you
she's
guys
like,
have to
oh.
do something for that movie. You have to take your time, and it was really sensual.
Wow.
And just
It was so
I'm
dumb.
taking
Dude.
notes.
It was dumb.
She has an orgasm.
And he just rubs the flower on her like. That.
She.
I'm
has
just
an orgasm.
wondering if you're an alien or not, because you're saying that you claim to have orgasmed yourself, but without touching yourself.
Yeah.
Holy fuck!
That's possible. It is.
I believe
If you're very, if it's possible.
You just come with no touching. Well, actually, you know what? That is possible. Because what's a wet dream?
Exactly.
Exactly where my mind
I
went.
don't have wet dreams though. You have wet dreams?
About you. Yeah. Of
Do you get morning wood?
course. No, but you.
That work for a girl.
What do you mean? It just feels good, and you're just kind of like
You just wake up coming.
moving around. No, but you wake up because you're like it's so much sensation. You're like
Damn.
it's really wet.
So you wake up and you're
probably
coming.
have greater
That's just
wet
wetting the bed.
dreams than you guys do.
I think you just peed the bed. You just pissed.
So warm.
Piss and shit. That sounds dumb, dude. What you're talking about sounds dumb.
I don't know.
No, I've heard that the female orgasm.
No, wet
is a
dreams
lot
are
better.
weird though. Do you guys do you have like weird wet dreams?
I haven't had a wet dream. Maybe only had 2 in my life.
Dude,
I've
you
never
really
had a wet
come.
Dude, my friend was telling me.
Wait, you come
Yeah.
during a wet dream?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we do, but it's just
My friend was
wet.
telling me once
I
that
pi-
he had a my friend had a wet dream where he was saying like some girl was through the TV and he was like able to get his dick sucked through the TV, and he was like the
That's cool.
biggest wet dream, and we were just busting his balls like if we just showed up at his house and there was like a huge hole in his TV. He was like sleepwalking.
Dude, that's awesome. That's a good dream. But yeah, I've only had 2, and you wake up like the times I had them, I was having a sex dream, and then I just woke up and I had cum in my pants, and I was like, this is gross.
But you didn't come in the dream.
I don't know if I did or didn't. I think I did.
Does that happen a lot to you guys?
I've
Ever
never,
happened.
No.
I've never
They
had a
call
wet
it
dream.
nocturnal
Never had one?
emissions.
I pissed in a dream
That's
before.
that's actually what they're called.
I was like in high school.
I was a bedwetter
Yeah.
for a long time.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, recently I kind of thought I almost peed the bed.
You did kind of pee.
Woke up and I
You
was
watched-
like, I think
She peed a little bit.
a little bit.
Sarah
You're
peed.
just like tickling
It was
yourself
like
with
3
a
days
feather.
ago.
She said the feather, just masturbating, like pisses herself.
She did pee in the bed.
No, I would pee like I was like 10 when I stopped wetting the bed at night. It was a long time. Yeah, it was a long time.
That's no, I think that's fine.
It is. I swear.
Well, I'm a
that
serial killer.
animal cruelty and wetting the bed until you're a little older is a sign of a
You
serial
ever kill an animal?
No, never.
That's good.
Never killed an animal. Yet.
Then you're a half serial killer.
Yeah. I don't
You're
know.
a single trait away from being a serial
I
killer.
used to pee the beds. I think it's normal to pee the bed sometimes.
You know a really
I
sad
love
thing?
your leggings.
Thank
He looks like Elf on the Shelf.
I'm an elf
With
today.
the socks full. I wear that same outfit.
Oh,
too.
A really sad
love that.
thing
So
though that
cute.
I'm probably gonna have to bring up in therapy was my dad had this incentive because my sister did it too, but not for as long. But if we didn't wet the bed for 3 nights in a row, and it was something I couldn't control.
Oh
But if you,
my god.
If for 3 nights in a row, if you didn't wet the bed, when we went to Blockbuster to rent a movie, you could pick out a toy from the toy section, and I never made it 3 days. So every time my sister would pick out a toy, and I was like, "Dad, can I get one?" He's like, "You didn't stay dry for 3 nights."
No way.
Yeah, and
What sucks about
Never had
that?
a toy.
What sucks about that is it's not your choice.
I
It's
can't
not like
control
you.
it.
What can you do?
Yeah, but dude, I would have to wear pull-ups. I was wearing pull-ups in like 5th grade.
Why are you lying?
I swear to God, I wet the bed till 5th grade, and I would wear pull-ups. And there was a couple times when I was younger, like kindergarten, I forgot to take my diaper off in the morning, and I went to school with a diaper. I swear to God.
Thank you for getting
So
vulnerable
Patrick,
with this.
I think it's time we call this a 2-man podcast.
Yeah, we're cutting Will out, dude.
Hey man, shit happens.
Are you wearing pull-ups right now?
Is anyone gonna check? Not
No?
anymore. No, it's literally been since I was 10 years old I went to bed, which I'm really proud of.
Really,
I've come a long
that's
way.
an accomplishment.
Yeah, I've come a long
Oh
way.
my god.
I haven't wet the bed in years. I think last time I wet the bed, I was probably in like 6th grade or something like that.
Why'd you wet the bed in 6th grade?
Well, I mean, it wasn't like like, hey, tonight I'm gonna wet the bed. It just happens. Like and I had the same thing. I had a dream I was peeing, and then
Yeah.
I woke up peeing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
I've been drunk and thought I was peeing and like peed.
That's enough out of you. All right, thank you guys for watching the podcast
Wait, why are
today.
you calling it? It's just getting good. now.
It has been kind of long.
It's probably over an hour now.
Yeah, it's definitely over.
Yeah,
now.
this is a 4-hour podcast.
Wow.
And it
Was
just
it funny?
Yeah, no, actually, this one was more like serious
Oh, serious topic.
Yeah, I got serious.
Yeah.
therapy talk.
We questioned beliefs. We
Do you guys
questioned
get, you should
history.
get vulnerable and cry a little.
Almost earlier. Before the podcast
I came
began.
earlier. It was that deep.
Yeah,
Patrick was taking a feather over my balls, and I just
I was fucking with a dandelion.
no, Patrick, stop it.
The little dandelions were flying off.
Patrick, I don't have my pull-ups on.
I'm telling you guys, if we watch the scene right now, it's the dumbest fucking
Yeah,
thing I've ever
let's
seen.
let's end this and
I remember
watch the
thinking it was
scene.
like amazing.
Let's watch the
And
scene
I
right
was-
now.
But I was like 13.
I think it's Josh Hartnett, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's like, we can't have sex because like, and it's like has a religious tie-in. It's like Jesus was tempted in the desert for 40 days by the devil. Yeah, it was. There's like that because I remember thinking
I
that.
only remember the flower part.
Sarah, would you fuck Jesus?
Yeah, if Jesus is coming up to you, just like, hey, I'm the son of God.
No.
The long hair is what's throwing you up.
I don't like Jewish guys.
It's a little much, like, you know, the religion part.
That'd be intense.
Like, his dad seems like too much. His dad's a lot.
That's a lot.
All right.
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we can call it.
That's a good wrap.
No,
No, it was
actually,
good.
Definitely added
Helped
it.
it
Wish
out.
you came earlier.
We
Yeah.
should get Joseph on this shit.
Yes.
Yeah. Joseph's gonna flake on
The
us.
ratings
now.
are gonna
Fuck you,
spike
Joe.
at the end for sure.
Joseph should be on it. All right.
Dude, we got to squash.
Peace.
Yep.
Dude, I'm starving.
All right, fuck all you guys. I'm out.